It's the
Woo!
You are listening to the D&B Yu-Gi-Oh show, where we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh accessories. My name is Dylan, and I am your host, and I am co-hosting, or, well, being co-hosted by Bader. Bader, what's up, man?
Not much. What's up with you?
I just lost a pretty, it was a pretty good game up until late. I just played some really boneheaded moves late, and then lost that one. So yeah, lost a pretty interesting game of chess. Wasn't the worst, wasn't the best. We'll be back next week and play something better, I'm sure. Oh,
Well,
man.
hopefully I performed better than I did last week.
Oh, last week, both of us played terrible. Last week was just like a very game that happened.
It was one of the games of all time. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, but we are moved on. And I would say moving on to talking about what we're going to talk about today on the Yu-Gi-Oh show. We talk about locals, quick run through locals and how they turned out, because this week was belt week. So it was, if there was a sweaty week, it was this week, I guess. And then we're going to talk about some events. I think the only event was the 3v3, and I actually have no idea how that went, because
I have a little information on it, not too much though.
all right, cool. And then at the end of the show, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite monsters in the game. So moving on, let's talk about locals. I guess I'll start because I think mine's going to be fairly short. So moving on. Let's see. So my first game I played against Ryziel. I've seen them at locals before, but I think they're still fairly new to the game, so they didn't know all of their card effects. And then like one of the only restrictions in Ryziel is that you can't summon. Like if you activate their effects to summon, you can't like special summon anything other than a level 4 or rank 4. And they tried multiple times. So I was like, I didn't catch it right away because I don't play the deck. So I was like, I was just kind of like reading the cards. I'm like, oh, actually, hold on. By the way, you can't do this. But yeah, so that's how that game went. It was just kind of like, I feel like at least game 2 they could have beat. Oh, I was playing kind of a pile deck of Teruelement stuff with some Kashtira. I thought it was alright. Could have been better. Definitely was some changes I plan on making, but I think it's pretty all right. But yeah, got that game and played game 2 against Tenpai. Played my roommate. Lost the die roll, so I was gonna choose to go first regardless because I'm not gonna be like, ho, I know you're playing Tenpai, go first.
Yeah.
But I lost a dice roll, so he made me go first anyway. And then I got Unicorn out, Kashtira Unicorn, and I banished Trihorn Dragon both times before he actually got to the battle phase, but it didn't stick on the board long enough to get 2 banishes off. And he was playing 2 of the Bident Dragons, so I couldn't just hit that and be good.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting game 1 because I just got OTK'd. I didn't set up like too crazy of a board. Game 2, I got hit with a Charmy. Like he set up the Dragon Link that tributes itself and then bounces a card on the field and then summons a dragon.
Poetic Seals.
Yeah. He set that up and then summoned the Kawakimaru Dragon that says you can't summon light or dark monsters. And I had 2 Gamma Seals in my hands, so that was pretty easy. Just like I just kind of like pushed until he like activated it, because if you tribute the dude with Gamma Seal, he'll still get to summon the whatever. So I just had to like play until he decided to activate it, and then once he summoned the Kawakimaru Dragon, I was able to kaiju it to continue playing. But he got enough summons off of, or enough draws off of the Mulch Army, that he was able to just hand trap me enough times and still had enough to set up for. He drew specifically Magnamut which let him search whatever he needed to actually OTK me on the crackback, and I didn't kill him on my turn, so just ended up losing that one. And my round 3, I played against Malice in a very long game. Is one of those. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like you have a meta deck and you're playing a fairly off meta deck, but I don't know. It was a just tough game that took a long time to play, and even I felt kind of out of it from the beginning, but it just took a while to get there. So always kind of tough to see those, but I definitely know that the person I was playing wasn't. I mean, he's played the game, but he doesn't spend a lot of time in the game. So at least as from what I understand, just doesn't seem to play the game outside of locals. So just could use a little bit more practice, but that's all that was. And then my round 4 ended up dropping because the weather on Tuesday was bad. It was snowing super hard. It was already like sleeting by like probably the beginning of round 2. So by round 4, it was like full snow, and I think we got, I don't know, a good amount. I got stuck leaving, and I had to have our champion, Chris, and my roommate push me out. Got home fine after that, but it took me a little bit to get unstuck from the hill. So yeah, that was my locals experience. How did yours go?
Well, I made a couple changes to my list for White Force, Azamina, Toy Box stuff, and all that. I just basically put in Bestials and more of a board breaker approach. It didn't work out too well. Round 1, I played against Ryziel Mitsugiri. That was a pretty grindy game back and forth. We went into time, and I got the win off of that. Just barely, just by I don't know, the skin of my teeth, I guess. Round 2, I actually don't remember what I played against. I do this every week. I just forget like one round, but I did get it. Oh, I wish I remembered what it was, but whatever it was, I got. Round 3, I sat next to you and watched your painful match while I played the guy who got salty second. I got 2-0'd. I won the die roll, and I opened no engine. I opened a toy box, Forbidden Droplet, and Triple Tactics Talent. So I toy box set 2 monsters and passed, and he broke through my board, or lack of board. Game 2, I put in more Mulcharmies, I put in more hand traps, and told him to go first. And I didn't draw any of my Mulcharmies, I didn't draw any hand traps. I draw for turn, it's a Fubulos. I'm like, oh, you're too late. So then I just lost on the spot. And then round 4, I played against Ryziel Fiendsmith, to the guy who the past 2 months I have had to go into round 5 with. Yeah, from December and January, I played him in the final round to see who would get the belt and lost both times. I played him this week again, and I lost again. Once again, just not opening any engine, just opening toy box stuff that at this point I'm about to cut. But it is what it is. I built the deck, so I can't be salty about it. I can't wish for cards to get banned. You know.
The way she goes, it's kind of, we're always in that waiting of, will this card eventually get banned? Will this card eventually hit the list? And I feel like every time we think that, we get 3 more cards that we think that about. It's like, man, every time, every set, it's kind of like crazy about what we get.
And in all honesty, I didn't even lose to any specific card. The card I lost to was Toy Box. Just opening Toy Box with nothing else. So
Your Garnet.
There's just some adjustments. Yeah, just some adjustments I got to make on my end. Nothing I can be salty about.
Well, that's definitely where I was at with my deck too. Is like, I mean, I'm drawing stuff, but I'm not like drawing things that are gonna like win me a game. So like, yeah, I mean, drawing 1 malicious is fine. Drawing 2 malicious is like, you can still salvage it, but like what are you doing? Because like even a couple times throughout the night, I'm like, man, if I had Beatrice right now, this would be great. But the card's banned, so can't.
Yeah, she's a little too good to be legal.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things I can do, and while I was the intent with militias was making link monsters, and I also was playing Destiny, Fusion Destiny. Um, I never drew Fusion Destiny all night. Not one time did I get to activate it. I actually got to like I summoned Orpha Scorpio to so that I could search it, and it got ashed. So I'm like, oh well, shit.
The worst feeling.
It's like, man, I mean, I discarded a Zephyros for it. So I was like, I mean, okay, I mean, at least put this where I want it, but I mean, it could have, gone off and I'd be way happier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of those. I just cut some cards out of my deck. I think it was at 60 and now I'm at currently like 48. So it's a bit trimmed down. So hopefully the stuff I want to see is a bit more consistent, but you really won't know until we try it out. So that's what I'm gonna be playing Tuesday, not Tuesday, but Saturday. In case anybody really wanted to know, I'm gonna be playing Tier Cash.
Oh. Well, if you need to borrow any hand traps, the mulch armies. I don't remember if someone else has asked me to borrow them, but if no one else claims mine, I got you on some if you want.
Well, hell yeah, I might take you up on that. Well, that was locals this week. It was very definitely bad weather, so we had a smaller locals, and yeah, obviously getting stuck wasn't the best. So
Yeah.
I would rate this week a solid 6 out of 10. But
I'd go a little lower than that for myself personally, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The degree of how bad things could get, it could have went way worse. So all right. But on that note, let's move on to our favorite cards. I'm gonna hit the button, and we hit the right button this time. Bam. We're gonna have to update this, or I'm gonna have to update this graphic eventually too, because we're not really answering questions from a fishbowl. We're just taking topics. But topic this week is our favorite cards. So not really a question or a specific topic, but I'm just gonna sit here and chat.
Well, how about this? Let me ask you,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of your favorite cards?
My favorite cards, I don't know. There's a lot of like, I like anime stuff. So like specifically season 1, I really like, I know, Dual World and all that stuff. Like a lot of that stuff is really cool. So like Exodia, oh man, Exodia is really kind of like the big one that I really enjoy from the first set, or first series, but the god cards are just, cool. I mean, even if they're not good, they're cool. But I currently have a list of all of the card types in the game. And I just kind of like picked one card specifically from each of them. And maybe I could think of a card that maybe I would like more, but I've narrowed it down to a pretty good list, and everything would make sense when I tell you. So, do you have a favorite normal monster?
I do actually, and it's not any big fancy one. Like, I personally am not as big of a fan as the anime. I don't know, just something about it just never touched my heart, never touched my soul. But I have always loved Red Eyes Black Dragon. I love that deck. However, he is not my favorite normal monster.
Okay.
My favorite normal monster came out of Legendary Collection Joey's World. Its name is Miyotoko.
Okay.
It's just this dorky level 2 guy. He's a beast. He's just a dude with an eye, one single eye in the middle of his torso, and like devil horns on his shoulders. And his flavor text is, you have to say this in Joey's accent. This big old guy with a big old eye shoots a nasty ray beam right at you.
Right at you. That's
And I just love that card.
That's awesome. My favorite normal monster is also mainly because of the flavor text. It is Mech Knight Avram.
Oh yeah.
His flavor text is, check this out. And I've actually summoned this card multiple times. It's not even a card that I'm like, oh man, I've never played this. It's actually good and played in its strategy. So Also, another reason why I love it.
Yeah, I remember one of our friends playing that at locals in his actual Mech Knight deck.
Every time you'd
Part of the
summon
combo.
it, every time you'd summon it, check this out.
Yeah,
it's
classics.
it is awesome. All right, well, I had you start with normal monsters, so I'm gonna say my favorite effect monster, and it's gonna make sense when I say it, but it's Eater of Millions. I love that guy. Just
Yeah, I assumed between that and Grand Maju for you.
yeah. So when I first started playing, I started playing. Hear me out. It's an Exodia deck, but they were playing the whoever built it. They built it, and they had Mystic Piper in the deck, and that you draw a card and you reveal it, and if it's a level 1, you get to draw again. So we were looking for level 1s that we can just put in the deck, and he was like, here, this is a bulk card, and he handed me Eater of Millions, and he's like, you're not using your extra deck anyway, you can just use this. So I'm like, all right, cool. And we play a game, and I see it, I draw it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna banish all these cards, and then I summon the guy, and then he stood there for like a long time, and I think he eventually did get outed, but like he was just there, and he's just a hard monster to kind of out. So I was just like, every turn I was just like, all right, I attack this thing, I eat it, and we move on. I'm all right, I attack this thing, I eat it, and then it was like, and then we read the card, and it was like, oh, it triggers like when it battles, so then I can do it on your turn too, so don't attack it. And then yeah, it just became a big thing of like, oh, we played like 3 or 4 games, and it just get to a point where I draw Eater of Millions. I'm like, all right, now I'm playing this guy, and now he's here. Deal with it. I don't know. It's just,
He's munching.
dude, he's I don't know. He's just a cool guy. Like, I mean, he's expensive. Like, you mean 5 extra deck cards is not, that's a resource in getting a guy that, I mean, while I say yeah, he's kind of hard to out, he's also kind of easy to out. You just kind of have to like point at him and say die.
Yeah. Imperm, I guess, even too.
Oh yeah, and that's always a good one when I'm like going to attack and we're like, hey, by the way, imperm. But
That'd feel bad.
well, what is your favorite effect monster?
Speaking of level 1s, this might come as a surprise to quite a few people who know me at all, assuming it would be a 6 samurai or a Xian monster. I actually love Battle Fader. Also a level 1.
Really?
Mostly for its ultimate rare that I used to own. I used to own an ultimate rare first edition. I believe it was Absolute Power Force is what said it was.
I have no idea.
It's just such a good looking card. And when I did first start playing many years ago, I did play 3 Battle Fader in my main deck because this was like Shadal and Teller Knight and Burning Abyss format.
Battle
And I was playing a 6 samurai structure deck with Gateway still in it, and no one called me out until like they saw me activate it. And I found that out in the middle of a locals. So like I'd throw in like 3 battle faders because I'm like, oh, this just stops me from dying for the turn. Heck yeah! And I never won a game, but it was pretty cool. And then I saw that had such a beautiful ultimate rare. I wish I had a playset of these, but I just so many nostalgic battle faders.
Battle Fader was in my first Gred Maju deck. I don't know if I played it in the Exodia deck. I don't think it was in that deck, but it very well could have been. It was a level 1. But I definitely know it was in the Gred Maju deck because I was playing Allure of Darkness, and it was just kind of like a free, oh, well, here's an easy Allure target, or I just hold on to it, and, I don't get Crimson Nova'd because that was relevant when I started playing.
Yeah.
So moving on, I think we're in a good spot to move on to Ritual. Do you have a favorite Ritual monster?
I do. And another thing people don't know about me, Ritual, like as the game mechanic, is behind synchro summoning my favorite game mechanic.
Okay.
I played Prediction Princess Shadal's at a regional back in like 2016, I think. Maybe 2017, whenever Lynx came out. And I took it to a regional, and I went 4-4 with it, which was pretty exciting for me, playing Dogwater. My favorite ritual is, I've always called it Prediction Princess Portolini, but it's Terror Tray. She's just a quick effect, either Book of Moon or Book of Taiyu. So I remember playing this with like Pot of the Forbidden One, which is a level 9. When it's flipped up, you get to activate one of like 3 banned card effects at the time, like Pot of Greed, Confiscation, or I think Raigeki. But just
Okay.
being able to flip your cards up and down was just so much fun to me.
Just like goat format, but better? Question mark. Kinda.
Mm, yeah, we'll say that.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. I mean, updated to that era. Not really decks doing that now.
Yeah. Are you a ritual enjoyer at all?
Not really. I don't know. I there's not really like a ritual monster that's really spoken to me. Um, I was gonna say Cerveus because that's the only one that I've really played quote unquote outside of Relinquished, but I played the fusion, not quite Relinquished itself. But I think Relinquished is probably what I'm gonna say, just because it's like it's the guy. Um, obviously Kaiba's monster. It's a cool card. Like I said, I played I'm not what is it? Fuck. Above of Thousand Eyes Restrict. So it's one of the pieces for Thousand Eyes Restrict. I think that's cool. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Not too of
I mean,
a.
that's a respectable monster, though.
It is. He's a removal, which is one of my favorite like archetypes of the game. I love removal cards. So and he's definitely a very like I mean a good removal card. Like equipping is like busted actually. Um. Well, moving on. Let's do. Well, we can do fusion next, just because we can keep in the time frame then. Uh,
Well, I guess before. Oh, yeah. If you're going in time for more, I was gonna say, oh, if you want to finish out the main deck, we could go for pendulums.
yeah. Let's stick to the time frame. Okay. Um,
All right.
what is your favorite fusion monster?
I am a. This is an old garbage card. Destiny and Dragoon, the original Dragoon.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'm a Destiny and Dragoon enjoyer. I don't know if you've ever seen or played against this card.
I have a
Uh,
card. I have the comment of it in a box. I actually just recently looked at it because I've been like looking through all my cards. So I actually definitely like had a chuckle of like, haha, Dragoon.
so I love this card. Mainly because again, it's an ultimate rare, which is my favorite rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty like a cool dude. Another story behind it is this card single-handedly made me buy max rarity hero stuff
Oof.
just just so I could summon this guy years ago. This was like 20 I think this was 2016 2017 again. So before I played Prediction Princess, I was playing Dragoon Turbo. So I was playing stuff like Trade-In that were whatever their highest rarity is. Ultimate Rare First Edition Allure of Darknesses. Um, I had 3 Ultimate Rare First Edition Destiny Hero Dogmas, 3 Secret Rare Plasmas, 3 of this in the extra deck. What else? There was Ultimate Rare Diamond Dudes in my deck, Shadow Mists. I don't think I played Dark Law, so I didn't have to buy the ultimate of that. If it was out at the time, I don't think it was. And the whole goal was just to turbo into this dude and then just pass, basically, because it doesn't do anything.
To
It's
think,
bad.
think how expensive that deck would be now.
Oh my god. Because yeah, I have the ultra rare maliciouses as well. Ultimate rare, first edition, Generation Force, a hero lives. Just so I could summon uh, Elemental Hero Prisma to become half of the material. That deck would have been insanely expensive and insanely bad.
Uh, yeah, that is something I guess kind of like for how expensive the hero cards are and how I mean I won't say that like they don't do anything because they definitely do stuff, but it's an expensive deck for what it is.
Oh yeah. What about you? What's the fusion you're enjoyer of?
I really like True Elements Kit Kalos. The card's busted.
Yeah,
I
I felt
sum-
that one coming.
I summoned that card so many times. Oh man, I mean, I won locals with this card. I didn't get to top any regionals with it, but I tried. I tried plenty of times. I love that card. Um, I mean, I don't know. There's not much more to say than the card is really good, and I summoned it a whole bunch, and it really deepened my love for the game. So that is Trilobin Cacalis is definitely my answer there. So, it's Synchro next, right?
Yes, but what is your favorite synchro?
My favorite synchro is gonna be Sword Soul Chingying. That card's really cool. I don't. I don't summon a whole bunch of the synchros. I don't really know if I've like. I mean, I've like summoned Nat Beast a few times, and obviously the other like negate ones. But I don't know if there's really like a synchro that I've enjoyed more than I enjoy Chengying. Like he's just a dude with a sword, which is cool. He does the thing that I really enjoy. He's sticky, which I enjoy. Like everything about him. He's just kind of a cool guy. So, what about you?
Honestly, respectable. I too am a Qingying enjoyer.
Let's go.
However,
Oh, okay. Oh,
however, yeah, it's my boy. It's Xian, the
I
classic.
tried. Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Qingying is definitely in my top 3 favorite synchros, though.
Also, a guy with a sword. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, or Chris would say it's a lame guy with a sword, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's his own opinion.
But yeah, it's my boy, legendary Six Samurai Xian, the original.
Fair enough.
Xian negate.
All right. Moving on to XYZ. What is your favorite XYZ monster?
I played during the Teller Knight, the Shadal, and the Burning Abyss format. I played Six Samurai. So I didn't really play XYZs, but a couple of years later, once like Domain Monarch came around, I thought that deck was so annoying. I wanted to figure a way out how to like stop them from ruining my life and keeping me out of the extra deck. So I played Satellar Knights to great success, might I add, by taking in 8 copies of Kaiser Coliseum, the Floodgate, which is super annoying to play against. So Satellar Knight Trevor is my favorite XYZ, because every turn being able to overlay 3 Teller Knights into him, return all cards on the field to the hand, and I can just like reset my hand or place whatever I need to back onto the field, detach a material, discard a card from my opponent's hand at random, and then drop Kaiser Coliseum so they can only summon 1 monster. Monarchs could not out that unless they had the Monarch Stormforth, but then there was like a weird ruling that you can't Stormforth a monster under Kaiser Coliseum if the end result would match or would surpass the current result, and it was just a whole weird ruling that eventually Kaiser Coliseum just got banned. It frustrated too many people, I think.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't sound like it's been fun to play against. So
it wasn't. But I was tired of Monarchs, and they had an archetype counter trap, which I thought was cool.
Countering cards is good. Especially counter traps. Those are busted.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen you play like an XYZ focused deck. So I'm eager to know what yours was.
But that is where you're wrong, my friend. You definitely have, because we've both summoned this monster many a time. It's number 86 heroic champion Rangominiad. I love that guy. That card's like when I think of busted cards, like this one blows all of them out of the fucking water. This card's stupid. Like he's broken, which is obviously like he's great. I mean, up to the point where like the deck was like I don't know exactly at what point the Dark Warrior deck really was like discovered, but like up to that point, Rangominiad was not getting summoned. So like it is really cool to see I don't know, an old card that like wasn't seeing a whole bunch of play, that it's good, but it's not like, like getting into it, it's hard. So then like it finding a deck or it finding a home is like very cool. And then obviously it's too broken to keep around. So they banned it along with Gumblar Dragon on the same list, which obviously I was playing in that deck because The deck was all about just doing the most broken things you could.
Yep, yep. I can't believe I forgot about I forgot about him.
That card is so good. Like I don't know, like you like just reading the card, you're like, what is this? Like it's yeah. It's
It
not
reads like crazy, but I guess 5 materials was too hard for some people.
at the when it came out, yeah. Yeah. But Armageddon Knight and some malicious and is old. We'll fix that.
Oh, I got some keywords about Isolde.
All right. Well, let's keep it in order then. And it's Pendulum next, right? I mean Pendulum and then Link. So yeah, Pendulum. Um so I guess I'll go. My favorite Pendulum monster is Dreaming Nemlaria. Uh when it, like in the terms of busted cards, I think this is going to be a bannable card eventually. The card's crazy. I don't like it's one of those, it's like it's being held back by its deck. Like if it gets enough support, that card's crazy good. Like in non-targeting banish X cards, where X is 1/3 of the cards you have banished. So like that in of itself is already like kind of good. And then it's obviously it being a pendulum monster, you can just like I don't think you can just pendulum summon it. I think you have to summon it by not having no cards in your extra deck, which there's no real good deck doing that right now. But as soon as there is, I bet this card is going to be in it for going second, and I think it's going to be real good whenever that happens. But yeah, outside of that, I really don't summon pendulum monsters. That's a lot of reading, and I'm not a big fan of reading Yu-Gi-Oh cards, at least. So, do you have a favorite pendulum monster?
Yeah, mine's not because it's a pendulum monster though. It's more of a what it does for the other archetypes. It's Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. When I was playing Dragoonity, this card was just insane in it. So it was just really cool being able to bring back any of my dragon synchro monsters every turn, or paying 5 or discarding it and paying 500 to add for a dark pendulum dragon like Dark Worm. I thought that was cool. I played this in like Red Eyes. I played it in Dragoonity. It's just a cool card. Nothing special.
I mean, it's good too. Like it's good, and it's not like it's definitely not bannably broken unless something really drastically changes. But I don't know. Dragons get a lot of support. Like almost every set they get support, so I don't think that's a problem. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last and certainly definitely not least, it's Link monsters. What is your favorite Link monster?
Let's go Isolde.
It's Isolde. Okay.
It was close between Isolde and the Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles Link one, but I got to go with Isolde. She's helped me top regionals, win regional, locals wins, everything. Just I will love her forever and ever. I'll always hold on to my collector rares until she comes back, and I will be waiting for her.
Yeah, very plus monster. Very good. Obviously bannably broken. Yeah.
I miss her.
There's not much more to say about it. Like she's broken. It didn't matter if it said, Noble Knight on it. She was every warrior's favorite first extra deck summon, so even in my Runga Mini deck, that was what I was doing. Is summon Isolde, we'd summon Armageddon Knight. We'd go from there. Very good.
Yep, full combo. What is yours though? What is yours?
Also played in that Dark Warrior deck, Summon Sorceress, banned before Isolde. I'm gonna preface this because Summon Sorceress got an errata. I don't know if we have that yet, but it's bad. The pre-errata Summon Sorceress is so good, and it helped. The problem is it helped too many decks, and it was like one of those cards that you kind of like had to play. And then obviously it was broken. So it's kind of tough, but she's like the being able to help like so many archetypes, and then like, I mean, there wasn't many things, if anything, that really did what she does. So like I don't know if there's definitely more broken Link monsters, but like she's just kind of like just being able to help so many different archetypes, and it's just like super easy to get into because you could just summon Reprodokus before it. Another great Link monster. Yeah, that is my favorite Link monster. Is Summon Sorceress.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, I miss her too.
Yep. It's just another staple. He's like, hey, I'm pointing to a warrior. All right, I'm gonna summon a warrior from my deck. Whether that be a Phantom Knight or, Malicious or what it may be. Very good.
Yep. Just some level 3 or 4 monster to help make Rongo.
Yes. Well, we have favorite other cards, and we can talk about spell cards and trap cards later. But kind of went through the whole list of monster type cards, so I think this is where we're gonna wrap it up. So, Bader, do you have any parting words for us?
Bring back Isolde, bring back Invoker, bring back Summon Sorceress, bring back Rongo, Band Shifter.
I approve of some, but not all of those messages.
Okay, maybe keep Rongo banned. That one's a little too toxic.
Okay, I'll agree with that one. Bring back Summon Sorceress too. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, bring her back to her original errata.
Yeah, with the original, please. Just get rid of just get rid of the errata. It's bad. Don't. Ugh. Well, for Bader and myself, I'd like to thank you for listening into the Yu-Gi-Oh radio show, the D&B Yu-Gi-Oh radio show. Be sure to listen to me on Twitch live on Thursdays. We start at 7. We play a game of chess first, and then we get into this. The project of this week is going to be setting up the chess channel, so we'll have links to that next week. I'll probably put links retroactively throughout the rest of them when I get it up. But until then, Twitch 7 Thursdays, be there at Central Standard Time. And if you can't catch it on Thursdays, you can listen to us on Fridays at noon on YouTube. Also Central Standard Time. So that's where you can listen to us. Be sure to subscribe to me and Bader. Links are down below in the Yu-Gi-Ohs, in the YouTubes. Yeah, that's us. Support your local game stores. It's where you meet cool people and you play cool games. And you might just see us there. So until next time, adios.
Bye, everybody.
And outro.
D&B radio show. Just two bros.
Yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh's the best. Yu-Gi-Oh is great.
Yeah. I love me some Yu-Gi-Mons.